There we go. Okay, so I was
Boom.
trying to get you in on the live too, man.
We in on the live.
All right. So did you see the invite?
Recording in progress.
There we go. Okay. So,
Yeah.
How little Skip, you like this? You want me to get you one? You want a cool one?
so you listen to Skip and Shannon.
Skip and Shannon.
Skip and Shannon
Skip and Shannon. They be
I was-
dropping nuggets.
every morning, man. Said you are unable to join, so I don't know. All right.
Send requests. There we go.
Cool. There we go. Boom.
Yeah.
Accept. Okay.
My guy.
Okay. We we ain't that all.
My guy. Okay.
Want to make sure there's no feedback.
Yep.
Oh, that is feedback. I gotta turn this down. Mine.
Your phone.
Yeah. Now I got the iPad hooked up, but
Okay.
man, first off, man, I'm digging the hat.
I dig the hat. Myself. I really do. That's why I got it. That's why you bought yours, right?
Exactly. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm
man.
loving it.
Let's get into it real quick. I know you're a very busy man. We started a little late, because I know you got busy. You got a lot of things to do. So, real quick, man, I want to give them a quick history about you and I, right? So, I grew up in Augusta, Georgia, or went to Hepzibah High School, same high school you went to.
Yes, sir.
I think I was a freshman. You was a senior.
Yep.
Yeah, but you was playing basketball and everything.
Coming through.
And your family runs a church called Faith Outreach Christian Life Center. And it was one of the churches that I went to when my first church was Living Word, but I think the bishop wound up passing away. And it was a whole bunch of drama, so my mama got up out of there, right? So we came to Faith Outreach, and we never left. You know what I mean? So, I think that's a testament to your family, to your pops, who was Richard Senior, and he's taught me a lot in during the years, and you guys embraced us as family, as not just community wise, or church wise, but literally as family. So
literally.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, like, I was just at the church 2 weeks ago, and your mom walked over and was like, "Hey, nephew." I'm like, "Hey, auntie." Like, it's just family love,
Yeah.
We don't even call each other by first name.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. So in those years, you were the one of the youth pastors, or the head youth pastor. And so you were a little, like I said, you was a little bit older than everybody else, especially in my age group. Yeah. And you taught us a lot, man. But you and I'll tell you this to your face, because I haven't talked to you really in a long time. But you were one of the first people to put the entrepreneurship kind of bug in my ear, as far as business is concerned, and it just grew over time. So you planted that mustard seed, what I mean? So
no doubt.
And so which
no doubt.
Ultimately led and prompted me to move to New York and follow my dreams that way. Even though people, I remember the time telling people I was going to move to New York, and people at the church,
yeah.
were like, no, like, don't do it. It's like you gotta die.
Doubt. And the doubters said it. Yeah.
You gotta. They were like, be careful. The people that was like, okay, do your thing, but be careful.
Yeah.
And
it's a very appropriate sequence into what we're doing right now.
Yep.
Talking about faith. Like you made a decision. You said, okay, hey, Rich, God used you to plant a seed in me to affirm something that I was already thinking about natively. And because of the words and because of the push, like I stepped out in faith, moved to New York.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my execution caught up to my imagination.
There you go.
And there goes hallucination out the window.
That's a
Right?
fact. Now,
Like you made it real.
now you said two words right there. What you said, imagination,
Yeah.
and you said stepped out on faith,
Yeah.
right? So that's in a nutshell. It bothers me a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like it really kind of frustrates me when people, because their imagination is, they think that if they just use their imagination, things are gonna happen. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
what they and this to start off, what we talked about the other day was that, you know, people get the terms faith and imagination or wish confused, right? I think,
Mhm.
me personally, I think having faith is part of an action,
Mhm.
as opposed to a wish, which is you can just wish
Oh
upon a
man.
star. You know what I mean? Could you,
Oh man.
yeah,
Come
could you
on.
elaborate on that for me, or
Come on. Man, I think like if we had to measure people's actions like Jesus measured faith,
Mhm.
like Jesus didn't have like human analytics with him with KPIs to break down if people made decisions, and not like, hey, like out of 5,000 people, like 36% of the people took an action.
Right.
Like the demonstration came from people just simply taking action versus just wishing. You know, like how many people were actually healed back in his day?
Mhm.
And why did he heal so few? Because of their faith, right?
Right.
And then, like, it's a great approach to life, like many of us, you know, like when we approach something that's, you know, complex, or if we approach something that's just everyday brushing our teeth, it's a demonstration of where our faith is, right? Like we're implementing, executing a podcast right now, right? Because of our faith. It wasn't something that we just kept wishing for and then it just poof, it happened.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's something worth dispelling, you know, when it comes to this thing called faith, because people go to a church service, they hear faith for the first time explained, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna make me a boo relationship list, or I'm gonna make me a you know, when my credit gets to 800, I'm gonna buy this list.
Mhm.
And like there's all these things we're telling ourselves, and before you know it, that wish list becomes the target, not the actions themselves. Right.
Got you.
And I think that's where people get stuck when it comes to like faith, you know, like, yeah, I'm believing. Well, why are you believing and not taking action?
Right.
Because whatever you believe drives you to act.
Right. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. And then another point is that, you know, a lot of people, once again, it gets me frustrated. Now, a lot of people think that they can, you know, make things happen in their lives
Yeah.
by, you know, jumping up and down, screaming and shouting, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. It is praise and worship, which
Yeah.
you're supposed to do that. But it's you know, people think the harder you scream, the harder you dance, it's gonna, you know, you're gonna go home and all your bills are gonna be paid. You know what I mean? And
Bruh.
just by what the things that I have seen, you can't even praise and worship your way into heaven.
Right.
Is that something that you have to work towards? You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like you can't praise and worship your way into heaven. You can't praise and worship your way into a better marriage. You can't praise and worship your way into you know, financial freedom. You have to put the steps forward. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
for it to do that, and a lot of people just think, you know, if they have faith, that things will just happen. You
Man,
know.
so like to your point,
Mm.
you know, Jesus could see people's faith.
Mm.
How could he see their faith?
Mm.
Because what they believe, they've already acted on. It didn't make any logical sense to do it, but they did it.
Right.
And so that's how he measured, you know, someone's behavior. You know, you and I was talking about how do you validate you if you have faith in something?
Mm.
When you take action, and when you keep taking action until you don't have to think about taking action.
Right.
You just
It
do it. It
becomes a
just
habit.
comes to you
Yeah,
second nature, you know? And so I believe, like, how many times did the guy in the Bible at the gate like he was at the little pond
Mhm.
and he would go in and he would try to get healed. He would always be the first one to jump in. And dude would never get healed.
Right.
Right. And then like one day, like he couldn't have predicted it, but that one day that he kept showing up was when it happened. So I feel like faith is this magical encounter that we have. It's non-sensational, to speak to your point. Like if I just work myself up enough, it's gonna happen. If I get mad enough, it's gonna happen. Like if I talk loud enough,
Right.
it's going to happen.
Right.
And that's just over sensationalizing something as simply as taking action.
Right.
So if that guy never started showing up every day, would he have got healed on that one day?
Yeah.
So like I believe like faith is the reoccurrence of one step that you take in action to manifest everything from that one action you take.
Oh, I get it. Okay. I follow now. I'm trying. Okay. So what you're saying is like, because I wasn't even thinking about it like that. Like that you have so much faith that you take action on it.
Yeah.
On the things that you want, because that's how much faith that you. Okay, I get it. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Like go back to creation. Go back to creative order. Creative order. Hey, what's going on? Make an investment now. She's about to make an investment now because she's in faith.
I guess. I don't know if she's selling Bitcoin. I don't need it. I'm gonna wave at her. Listen, man, listen, when your profile has a business on it, like I get so many Forex, like Bitcoin, like every day. Come on.
Yeah. Come on with the coin.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm not, just for the record, I'm not interested in Bitcoin. Not right now. I may get somebody on the show to debate me about that, but actually that's gonna be a good show.
That's a hot topic. There you go.
Yeah. So because I'm like coin. anti Bitcoin. So if somebody could debate me on it, I think that'd be cool. But
like join us.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said come to the show.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Come to the show.
So man. So like I'm sorry.
Creative order. Like creative order presents itself with the first step of creation, like being given to man. The first task ever given to man was to work. That's where we get our inner grind from.
Gotcha.
Right? We can't help it, right?
Gotcha.
So the grind is an innate, instinctive response to a bigger creative picture. And it is through faith we implement our imaginations or our skills that we are naturally given, right? So it takes faith to take something that doesn't exist, which is nothing, and then have something instantly, like in the first day. So day one, we see God demonstrating what faith looks like.
Right.
It's being able to articulate your outcome and then take action on it.
Got it.
Can people say and articulate their faith with an outcome? It's not, I'm believing I'm going to get a car. It's the outcome is I will be driving this car by this time frame from taking these actions and doing this at least 30 seconds or 30 minutes every single day. 30 minutes checking my credit every day.
Gotcha.
I want to see that go up because I'm in faith and I'm taking the action it takes. So now when it comes to spending money I don't have on the weekends, trying to keep up, I don't have to juggle with that decision anymore because I'm in faith. My flesh, my mind waves, my frequencies, everything, what I look for, everything is now in motion to wanting to see my credit score at the right number to walk up confidently to the dealership or to place an order through an app for a new car.
Gotcha. All right. So what because that brings up a good question. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm getting a lot of feedback from the live, man. But whatever.
Yeah.
So where is there a line between what you just said and the word that or the phrase that pops in my head is manifestation?
Yeah.
Right. So can you explain that? Like what will be the differentiator or the line between those two?
Okay. So like let's break it down even more, because a confused mind, won't be able to take action. And I think that's
Right.
where it comes down to.
Right.
Is faith somehow, by God's divine creative order, faith is an energy. It's movement, it's motion, it's filling up the space, it's filling up the air I occupy, the physical real estate I occupy,
Right.
and it's where I make my decisions. Now, here's what I want to point out about that skill set of being able to move my imagination, move my words, and move everything into a directive order of, I'm only working on this for the day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Are we still getting feedback?
No, not no more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think what it comes down to is how I make my decisions. That's where the manifestation, the transaction of the manifestation takes place at.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I'm making a decision to show up to talk about faith.
Got it.
What happens from this conversation, my faith will give manifestation to that.
Gotcha.
Right.
So I mean, is it like something that goes from my head on my mind to actually appearing in real life?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's how I talk. It's how I make decisions. It's how it's man, some people would describe it like this. It's learning how to say no a lot.
Say it again.
Learning how to say no a lot.
No, a lot. Okay. Explain that. Break that down.
Man, I think once faith drives you to act,
Yeah.
now you're like super laser focused. So you're not going to say yes to everything anymore.
I got you. All
right?
Yeah.
Because that's half of the problem is we all get the same 24 units.
Mm-hmm.
But the guys who know how to navigate this world better than we do, right? And their claim to wealth is not having a great business idea. It's not being a better tailor. It's how do you utilize your 24 units you get every day?
Gotcha.
Right? And which means you use 60-70% of your units every day with faith, and you say no to a lot of BS. I was about to
listen on my show. When I come on your show, we can bleep out everything. This show is free reign, man. You can use,
Oh hey. Man, yo, it's taken me for real. Like, who am I to talk about it? Like, I went to a Bible college.
Uh-huh.
Like I tiptoed into faith around having a framework of faith from the Bible as a reference.
Right.
And all I heard for 2 years was about faith, and no one ever broke it down logically to where that shit pissed me off.
Right.
They're like, yo, if you put as much effort in the flesh as much as you do in your prayer time, you would actually get the outcome you want. If you would put
I think you need to wait. I think you need to say that one more time. Hold on, let me write that down. If you put as much effort into your what?
Into the effort to get the outcomes as much as we do in our prayer times, we would achieve them.
That's a fact. I think that's a 100% fact. I think about that all the time, man. Because God, once again, just like you, I literally grew up in the church. So, because we was there Sunday.
Yeah.
Wednesday. We was there choir rehearsal, and we was there choir. We was there choir rehearsal with Thursdays. you know, so
Like we were putting in the work.
yeah, man. And
And
you know, it's a lot of stuff. I think that, you know, I'm gonna try to use my words carefully, but you know, I think there's a lot of things that within um quote unquote religion that um keeps people from achieving the things that they want.
mhm,
And I think that, you know, once you start to learn exactly what you just said, you articulated it very well. Um, you know, people put as much you know, much time and effort and sweat, literal sweat and tears into, you know, into the things that they wanted to achieve in life, because life is short in the grand scheme of things.
mhm.
As much as, you know, as much as they put into that, if as you know, they would put it as they put into you know, their prayer time or their Bible study, and actually would use the Bible or use these lessons and actually apply it to
Yeah.
life. Because I think a lot of people get stagnant, and not even stagnant, but like they're comfortable with just going to church, getting those lessons, feeling filled for that day, and just to get them to the next, just to get them to the next week. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think that's not good. I think it's dangerous, especially for our community, Black people, who are the most religious people. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I think I think that's a detriment, man. I think that, you know, and I'm glad that you're, you know, you decided to take up, you know, being a
Mhm.
minister,
Yeah.
because you do break it down logically, you know, and that's
Try
why
to.
these are the things that I look for, you know, and when I'm, because once again, you know, I grew up in the church, so I've
Yeah.
seen, like, I could tell, bro, I've grown up in the church so long that I could tell when somebody just got saved.
Ooh.
I could tell when
Wow.
somebody, you want to know how when somebody just got saved?
How?
Because they always talk about Jesus. Every every everything you talk about, they want to bring
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Lord. You know what I'm
Jesus.
saying? Like, oh, you
Jesus.
just got saved. I can tell.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying?
Like they still got that zeal.
Yeah, yeah,
They fresh
exactly.
out.
Exactly. They're not
It's like being in love, you know.
Yep,
Like
yep,
when you think about it, for me, you know, it's a practical approach to my relationship with God, being in faith. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Everything He made, He spoke to, you know,
Right.
and it's still going. I mean, the last time I checked, the sun still comes up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The moon still comes up, and he created everything out of an act of faith. Like when I think about how preachers today preach faith, they make it unpractical.
right.
Because
They make
it's,
it seem like things is gonna fall out the sky.
yeah, yeah,
And it-
and it's like, yeah, you know, like just move your mouth, right,
yeah,
and pray to this God, right? When really the way that faith works is it's faith that God uses to change us so we can become the person that we ultimately will become in
right.
glory. He uses the faith, and He uses the expedition, the journey that we're on,
Mhm.
to propel us into who we are becoming.
Right.
And so when I reach for something that I'm dreaming about, little do I know what it's going to take, the type of person it takes to try to achieve that.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Like the things, again, we have to say no to, the things we get to say yes to now. Like we don't really pre-decide, okay, like 5 years from now, I'm not going to cheat on my wife, right? Like we just kind of stumble into things, and it takes faith to keep your creative imagination and succinct and not
Right.
get distracted by, you know, things that try
Yeah.
to draw our attention to that,
Instagram.
you know, like Instagram. and so like, imagine this, imagine how faith works. It's a skill set. So here's what we do. Like, how do we put this into play? Well, number one, faith will drive us to start talking about what we see inside. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like God spoke, and the Bible says that in Hebrews, the 11th chapter, that just him speaking alone was the greatest act of faith, putting all this in motion. Okay, so we know, boom, that's the first signal we get from the Bible of what does faith look like. It means you really do talk about what you're trying to achieve.
Right.
But at some point, right, you graduate from just talking about it to like, hey man, what you up to? I'm grinding.
There you go.
like I'm doing it. I'm putting it in motion.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man. And then guess what? The conversation changes between us. Like, hey man, like if a better body is the goal and we're putting it in faith, I don't go from like, hey man, are you still working out? I start asking questions like, how many times did you go to gym this week?
Yep. Yeah.
How many pounds did you shred?
Yeah.
Right. Like people's conversation with you change when you're in faith.
Yeah, that's a fact. No,
Right?
you're right.
And so, like we start to put that into play, like just how we're setting expectations with people, relationships. Like, look, man, I like you. I'm sure you like me, but I only got an hour, right?
Right.
Because these other 2 hours, I'm about to be trading, at my desk at home, on some crypto or whatever.
Right.
So it takes discipline, right, to have the faith to speak to it, but also to now take an action, take the first step. Faith will lead us to take the first step, even though we don't want to take any steps.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
And faith will move us to start, like, how do I know how to take out a loan, right? A business loan on a marketing campaign to scale up my business in today's economy, right? Like, how do I articulate that to an investor or some type of, platform? How do I do that? Well, faith, forces me and my imagination, in this physical body, in this dimension to work in tandem,
right,
to explore every option or resource available until I find what I'm looking for and I cross it off my list and move to the next thing. So faith will move us to drive from A to B, not from A to Z, because that's where people get it wrong.
Right.
Faith will move us from B to C.
Right.
And it's like little steps, but steps give us growth and acceleration so we can do what we're about to do faster. Right. And with much more ease. Yep. So how do you get your competitive edge? From faith, right? By moving into a direction that you believe that's where you belong. Right. And then last but not least, like, how do you move from faith where you start talking about it to now you're starting to take action? I think the game changer of faith are systems. Right. Can I talk about it?
Say it again one more time.
Systems.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Bro, systems, game changer. What are systems? Like, our brain functions and runs 89 to 99% of the day on a system, on an algorithm. Okay. Right? We make habits, right? We try something, we get the dopamine hit. Oh, let me do that again, right? It's the first time workout in a long time. It's whatever that, give us that. And so we form these habits. And so very little do we, when we say we're in faith to do something or achieve something, very little do we create a system for it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to wake up 4 o'clock every day. Why? Because I know me, I'm going to drag. So to be at the gym at 5, realistically, I need to be up at 4. And so I'm going to set my alarm. That's a system. A system is like the way we eat. Mm-hmm. We say we want healthier bodies, we want lower carbs, et cetera, keto diets. What do? We adjust the system on the way that we subconsciously eat. That's a system. Gotcha. Right? So people who have faith, very little of them use this type of system, called faith. Faith is a system.
You know what it is? It's like you said, with the system, it's kind of like somebody trying to get to a destination with no GPS.
Yeah.
There's no system. It's no way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in New York, I know, let's say if I need to go to Manhattan, I'm in Brooklyn, I know which train I need to take. So I know the route to get to the train. And I know which because the trains go this way, right? So I know which way to go. And I know when I get on the train, I know which stop to get off on. And, then I know all of these things, right? This is a system that I worked out in my head the first, you know what I mean? And so a lot of people
now, let me ask you, and then you can keep sharing. when you wake up now, when you go to the train and you're trying to get to a destination, can you honestly say now do you think about it?
See, that's the and I was gonna get to that point. Well, I was gonna say that earlier as far as like you said, going from A to B to C to to E to G, right?
Yeah.
So by the time you get to elemental P, it's even though it's different stages, you're used to that process now. So you don't even think about, you know what I'm saying? You don't even got to get yourself geared up that long. You're you know what I'm saying? Because it's you're used to it, right? Which brings me back to my other point, which was people being content and being comfortable, right? Yeah. So they're afraid to take that A to B route. So they're afraid to be uncomfortable, and that faith that's pushing you is going to cause you to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? That's when, in my opinion, that's when the faith kicks in, because you're uncomfortable. You don't have to have faith. You could just wish on a star and still be in the same spot. But when you're actually moving, that's when faith kicks in. You see what I'm saying?
People typically stop as soon as they feel the resistance. And that's the first signal you get from this creative universe that God made. That's the first sign you get that you're in faith.
Yeah.
Boom. You're like, man, this sucks. This is hard.
Yeah.
Like my first day of trading is hard. Like my first day of doing a podcast, hard. Yeah. My first day of playing piano live, hard.
Right.
But you keep doing it. So you don't, like, your brain has functioning algorithms that God placed there as a gift.
Got you.
And what pulls that out is faith.
Right. Because I mean, humans are naturally, I'm gonna keep it. Humans are natural. I'll just say lazy. What I mean by that is that we're trying to find the quickest way to do something as fast. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like, getting from point A to point B or whatever it is. Like our brain just automatically tries to find the quickest route. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, that's why not everybody is wealthy. That's why not everybody is, that's why, because it takes definitely extra. It takes more than just, dare I say it, it takes more than just praying about it. It takes more than just, Gene said it's ugly in the front, messy in the middle, and rewarding at the end.
Bro, come on.
Oh, Gene said the echo is crazy. Oh man. All right, the echo is crazy. So we may have to you know what? It's all good. I'm gonna just get off it live, and then I'm gonna, because it's recorded, so I'm gonna just post it online.
Okay.
Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah.
All right.
So we're not gonna share that.
Right. Yeah,
so it's all good. So
I could do another test with you on that.
I'm gonna upload it.
But,
yeah.
But yes, sir, man, that's facts. Yeah, like faith lead the facts.
That's a fact. Faith definitely lead the facts.
Like, you can't argue with the facts, bro. Like, and stats. I love systems because systems lead to stats. Mm-hmm. Like, faith leads us to good stewardship. Like, we're good with our time, we're good with our mind, we're good with our grind. And when it comes time, like, to make moves, it's all about like, okay, can I scale up?
Right.
And because I took action, created Hollywood. Man, I didn't like Hollywood in LA, so I brought it to Atlanta, and that's how Tyler Perry did it, out of faith, right? And then he can now scale that region up, right? He can pull in production, he can open up co-office working spaces, he can buy up more real estate, and he can lease out so other people can run their productions. And it's like, now more people can take faith. Right. Because they were like, I've always imagined working out of a studio in Atlanta, and boom, Tyler Perry makes it. There's scientists who've probably dreamed of us going to space. Right. Mm-hmm. And Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson and your boy Musk put their resources together, their engineers together, and they made it happen. So I'm like, they're doing this with the gift that we have.
That everybody has. Right. And you definitely opened my eyes on different perspectives. I was you know, I was thinking that, you know, and I love what you said, man. If people put as much energy into actually doing as opposed to, you know, crying a bucket of tears at the
Yeah.
altar, you know what I mean? And it go right back to how they were doing and their bad habits. You know what I'm saying? Like
Bad habits, bro.
bad habits, man. And it's and like you said, some people have a system of bad habits. You know what I mean?
Man.
Think about that. Some people
Man.
have a system of bad habits, bro.
Man, come on. Like really bad habits. And
Yeah,
most
yeah.
of us developed it like we grew to know how to do that in the church, bro. Like,
Right.
the church taught us like it was okay to run to the altar, like repent
Yeah.
from something I was doing as a bad habit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
And then go
right.
out back out there and
And
like,
do it again.
oh, I don't realize why I can't shake this. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah,
maybe this was meant for me.
Right.
That's like, it just came down to like, if you want to use your faith to get to the next level, whatever the next level is, like when you don't have any resources at all to reach out and grab, like the one skill set you have is faith.
Right.
Like it's a weapon, it's a decision. It's okay. You know,
That's what's up, man. I really appreciate you coming on. You definitely gave me a new perspective on faith, and you know, because I've been thinking about it for a minute. And you know, I thought I had, you know, you start getting into your own mind and you start thinking, okay, I got every perspective. Now you just enlighten me on some things. So man, I really want to say that I appreciate you. I appreciate you, you know, when I was growing up in Hephzibah and Augusta. Man, just, you know, continuing to be a big brother to me, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on the show.
man, thank you for having me. And yeah, the love is real. Love is real.
All right, man. Everybody, this has been another edition of Cuzin Jeff Talks with Richard Peoples in the building. Man, definitely a good conversation. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Good chat.